Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
Kia ora, Amy.
Kia ora.
Amy, I'm going to start this by saying how proud I am of you.
Thanks.
Your development in the last year has been nothing short of phenomenal. We're really proud of you, and it's nice to come out and say this publicly in this space. I know I've said this a few times, but Amy, I love starting this conversation about a get to know with you, because if there's someone we are proud of, it is you.
Oh, thanks.
But I also know that you've worked hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to share those stories, because not only are you an inspiration for many of us, myself included, but, you know, with Mason, your son, I think that's another major part to discuss as well.
Yeah, thank you. That's really nice.
So, Amy, how long have you been teaching?
I have been teaching for about 6 years now. Yeah, not semi-long, but yeah.
But what I loved is, you know, when I remember first asking you why, you started talking about how you were the Pied Piper of children.
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
I have been brought up in a Christian household, and we would go to church every Sunday, and I was one of the oldest children, so for like a creche, not like a creche, like a youth group type thing.
Yes.
And I would have a trail of children behind me. I didn't do anything special. I don't even know why they just gravitated to me. And I think I've just always had a love for children. I knew what I wanted to do was to teach. And I've always wanted to be a person who made an impact on someone's life. And I have a firm believer that I think it won't only just be one child. I think it will be dozens, hundreds, thousands.
So just going back to, you know, that, because you didn't study straight out of school, right?
No, so I got a job at Woolworths when it was at Bayfair, and I was a checkout supervisor. I did that for, I'm going to say maybe about 4 years, fresh out of school. And then I was like, I really need to do something with my life. And so I went to Camp America.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
cool.
I was in Pennsylvania, and I went to ISTC. It was an international sports camp, would you believe it? And I was a jet ski instructor. And
wow.
Yeah, so I drove jet skis for all summer for about 3 months. I was absolutely petrified. First time ever away from home. And I think I spent the first 2 weeks absolutely bawling my eyes out, because I just could not believe where I was. I made lifelong friends. And it really moulded me to who I am now. I travelled around the States for 3 months with some of the friends that I made at camp. Went everywhere. And then I came home and I just got the bug. I wanted to keep going. I just didn't want to stay home, but I needed to save. So I got a job at Mātua Life Care, where I worked in the dementia care unit.
Wow.
Yeah, and I loved it. Loved it. And so I saved, and then I went to Australia, and I went and visited some of my friends that I made at camp.
Yes.
And then I thought, what am I doing with my life? And then I fell pregnant, and then I had my son Mason, who is now 10. And then I was like, I really need to do something with my life. And so I went to Bay Plenty Polytechnic, and I did my level 3 Bachelor of Teaching. I didn't finish School C, so I didn't have university entrance.
Yeah.
So I needed to do level 3 for credits.
Yes.
So I did that for 6 months, and then I did level 5 at the Bay Plenty Polytech again. And then I got accepted into the University of Waikato and over at the Tauranga campus, and I've studied there for 3 years. And I think I just grew and grew and grew as as I learnt.
Yeah. So
yeah.
hang on. Let's go back to Camp America. Hang on. You're going too far. Camp America. Well, so because I know a few people that have done Camp America, and they've just everyone I've met that's done it has just raved about it.
Yeah.
So, and a jet ski instructor. So
Yeah.
So what did a day look like in one of those places?
It
As
was
a jet ski instructor.
Oh mate, I don't think I've ever been so tan in my life. It was
Because I don't know. Is
Pennsylvania was hot.
Yeah, right.
It was very hot. So we were on a lake. It
Yep.
was I'm not sure if it was a man-made lake or not, but it was a week-based camp, and I'm not
Yes.
even kidding you. These families were filthy rich. Like kids were arriving in helicopters.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Wow.
it was.
That's why there was a jet ski
It
instructor.
was a culture shock. But the kids were just so awesome.
Yep.
So I was with like the younger between 5 and 8 year olds.
Yes.
So I was like a camp mother.
Right.
I was with another person, like another friend, a camp leader, and we would stay in the cabins with the children. So
Yes.
we would wake up, go to bed with them, or not, and then wake up with them.
So you said it was a week long.
Yeah.
So what did you have to plan, or what was it?
No, so what would happen, it was like a rolling day.
Oh,
so
wow.
we'd get up, we'd all go and have breakfast in the hall.
Yes.
And then we would go off and do our sections. So we would have either the morning off, the middle shift, or the afternoon
Yes.
off. So you would have 2 slots of...
Almost like a shift.
Yes, so
yeah,
there would be archery, there was rock climbing, there was 4-wheel driving, you name it, it was there. There was a blob. Mate, I should give you the video of myself.
Oh, so like one of those things you jump and they...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow,
I
wow.
think out of anyone that could ever fail on a blob, it would be myself. Like I literally missed the whole thing. I think I was just like a pencil. It was a straight down. Everyone kept telling me to, go on like a staple. Did I go on a staple? No. But it was the best time of my life.
So, what did that teach you? What did Camp America... Because I know my friends, but, what did Camp America teach you?
Taught me resilience.
Yeah.
That I can step away and I can step out of my shell, and I don't need... I'm definitely... I'm a hermit. I like to stay in my shell. That taught me that I don't need to hide. I can actually go out and live the world. It taught me a lot of confidence, and it just made me have fun. Not sweat the small stuff. Don't overthink things. Just
So the kids that were there would have taught you, because different culture, like we grew up being Kiwi, obviously.
Yeah.
What were the kids like? Because, I've been lucky enough to work with really wealthy children too, and I've always found there's always some very big commonalities.
Yes.
Between being a child that's not in as well off position as some of them. But what were some of the lessons working with those kids? That I'm talking really more American kids.
Yeah. For me, I think it was the slang. Just simple things like trash. I would get so much grief just for saying rubbish or jandals or what was another thing? Shorts or a duvet. Just little things that really got to the children, but I just couldn't fathom it.
Yeah.
But for them, I love the kids. I think that they were neat. They taught me so much just about myself as well as themselves.
So, and then we go fast forward to the dementia space, because I also worked in mental health. I actually worked with clients with intellectual disability, and it taught me. I worked in that space with lots of energy kids and things, but then I worked in this space with people that needed support to live their day to day, and dementia's a big one. So, what was your role there in that dementia space?
I was a care assistant, so I would ensure that they were up for the day, dressed, showered, fed. And for me, it was more company.
Yeah.
It taught me so much empathy. Like there were people there that hadn't seen their family in years, and that was really sad. You know, for me, they didn't have anyone. They would, and especially in the dementia care unit, I feel like it was their last destination. You know, and that's really, really unfortunate. And to me, it wasn't a job. It was, I felt I was there just to be with them, you know, just talk to them, sit with them. It was a really eye-opening experience for me on how sometimes the world can be quite cruel to our most vulnerable. And I absolutely loved it. There was never, ever a dull moment. The nighttime shifts were probably my favourite because that's when they would get up to a lot of mischief. And my golly, if I could tell you some stories, but we won't go into that.
Yeah.
We're a family podcast. But yeah, it was, I would go and do that job in a heartbeat again. It was,
Well, it makes sense actually now. I mean, now that you've made your way back around to early childhood, because actually everything you're describing there is what I see with you, with children. You are there, you are ready, you are available, you are accessible, you're there to keep kids company, for hugs, for laughs. You know, I think that's it's circled back around into that space, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how would I know how I would describe you as a teacher, but how would you describe yourself as a teacher?
Fun. Fun to a T. And just be silly, you know, like toddlers, I'm a toddler teacher through and through, always will be, and I think it's important for them to see us as adults be silly, you know, and laugh and dance and, you know, just absolutely have a ball in your job. And that's literally what I do every single day. I'm exhausted come by the end of it, but if I'm not exhausted, I know I have not done my full potential. And yeah, fun. It's
and you know, a lot of kids really love you and look up to that. And I think, you know, I was similar too. I was a teacher that went out of my way to have a good laugh, a big hearty laugh with kids and have fun. But I think in your day-to-day practice, you're so consistent with that. It's really a real strength of yours. You know, you've been in this now 6 years and stuff, and we've been lucky enough now to have you in a leadership space. And it's really nice to finally get you there. You were very determined to get to there. You kind of set your goal on that and things like that. So you've only what has it been, a month?
Yeah, I'm going to say a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, she's leading our overs space at our Pāpāmoa Beach Centre, or the Domain Road Centre. So what do you really enjoy? Are you still having as much fun? What's it like?
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely having more, not more, I would say on par. I think I've just taken it on board that I definitely have more responsibility, and I think just not letting the little stresses of the day get to me, because if it's getting to me, then I know it's going to get to my team. So I just want my team to see that myself in the light, that it's okay to still have fun. Yeah, I'm loving the leadership. Loving being a Kaimahi. I'm hungry for more and more and more. Like, I think this is only the beginning for me.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see where I go. And I can't wait to see where my team is going. I feel like our team is just so amazing. I'm so thankful. I've got so much support from them. They are backing me. They've got so much respect for me, and I've got so much respect for them. I know I wouldn't be where I am right now without them.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I want to go back to something. So I met you how many years ago?
I was 4.5 years ago.
Yeah. So let's talk through that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go there.
Oh, we'll go there.
We'll go there. So I'll let you give your version of the events.
I came in for an interview. I was with another staff member at Pāpāmoa Beach, and I was with Ray, and we were in the room called a fishbowl. And I remember specifically there was a round table in the room, and by golly was I nervous. I don't know if it was because I'd never been interviewed by a male before, and Ray, if you've ever met Ray, he is quite intense. He loves to have a conversation. He just asks any question and he wants to delve deep. And I wasn't prepared for that. And man, I was sweating guns. And I personally think I completely snowballed that interview, and his words were, come back when I had more confidence. So I went into another sector, ACE sector, and I spent 3.5 years there. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to show him. And still to this day, I still give him grief because, heck yeah, I have got the confidence.
Yeah. So my turn of events is Amy clearly loved kids. Like it was very evident that she loved children, that she had fun and spark. I just wanted to know whether she believed in herself to go to the next level. That was my thing, and I think part of it was a challenge to you to say, hey, if you think you're worthwhile, and you know what? Why I'm so proud of you is you could have just been like, well, I'm going to be better, but not come back to you bugger.
Yeah.
But you came back, and that in itself, I don't know too many people that would do that from such public, not humiliation, but a public situation where, you could have made other choices, right?
And I 100% agree, because from where I am now to where I was 4.5 years ago, completely different person. And I knew in myself I wanted to be a teacher at Future Focus, and I needed to spend 3.5 years somewhere else for myself to get there.
I appreciate your mana in that part, because to be honest, I don't get joy and kicks out of saying that sort of stuff either. Yeah, I am intense, but I believe in the sector so much, and I want to make sure that people we bring into our spaces bring huge value, and we can bring huge value to them. So that is, you are, and I do reiterate, you're a huge success story for me personally,
thank you.
And for us. So it's really cool. Mason, tell us about Mace.
Oh, Mason, he is my absolute. I could just spend hours talking about him. He is incredible. He is 10 years old, going on 18, but without the attitude. I feel he looks after me more than I look after him. I love him to bits. We just have each other's backs. He's a cool kid. He's kind, he is nurturing. He's quiet, he's reserved, he is polar opposite to me in the instance of
Sheer personality, right?
Yes, but he also has my traits of...
Oh, man, he's deeply caring,
of a kind heart, and he's very empathetic.
Yes.
He's off to intermediate next year, which I'm in complete denial. He definitely is excited for the next step. He's just an all-round really good kid.
Yeah,
I'm very, very fortunate to have him. I feel very blessed. And I think now that it's just him and I, it's only the beginning.
Yeah, he is a beautiful soul, and you've done a very good job with Mace, because we took some kids to Te Ako Ki, which is the school where he's at, and he comes running over, and he knows kids obviously because they're from your centre, and and just seeing kids gravitate towards him, and I laugh because I know the Pied Piper story. It was cool for him to be in the space of just kids loving him playing and things like that. You're right, he is absolutely a beautiful boy.
He's
a beautiful boy.
I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
And I just want him to thrive.
You took him to Lizzo,
About damn time.
About damn time.
That was an incredible night.
If you don't know, Amy, that song is now forever etched in our memory for Amy, because at our staff karaoke, that was the song she picked, and it was hyped up the crowd. It's about damn time.
Yeah, that's just, I want him to get a taste of the world. I want him to experience everything. We went to Australia at the beginning of the year.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Growing up, I didn't travel. I hadn't even been out of the North Island, until I was, I'm going to say, in my 30s.
You're right.
Right. So
went to Camp America, but didn't go to the South Island.
Nope.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And so we went to the Gold Coast, and it was 5 days. I'm going to say 5 days of absolute bliss until an Uber driver ran over his foot. But that's for another day. Story.
Yeah.
But I just want my son to just try everything in the world.
Yes.
Don't say no to anything.
How are you going to really encourage that? What's some of the steps you're taking for that?
I'm going to role model that myself.
Oh, cool.
Because I am definitely a sit-back person. I'm in my comfort zone. I don't really step out of my comfort zone very much, and I've been really reflecting on that as how can I expect my son to step out of his comfort zone if I'm not willing to do that? And what better way to do that than do it together?
Yeah, I look, and again, I really applaud that with you, because it's been noticeable. It's been noticeable. Your desire to want to get out of your comfort zone, even doing this. I know I kind of just dropped it on you, but
only a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. but I think what you're doing is going to be fantastic for Mason, but also for yourself. I think it's going to be awesome. So let's go in a wee bit in terms of this leadership space, because you are really passionate about it and you are massively hungry about it. But let's go into one of our favourite books, James Clear.
Yes.
Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Amy came to me and said, I'm reading Atomic Habits, and Auntie and I were like, yes, because we love that book. Why Atomic Habits? Why'd you?
I think you really sold it to me, and I just wanted to understand it a bit more, and I wanted to create better habits for myself.
And it's quite confronting, especially I remember when I first read it, and I was like,
I'm halfway through it. I haven't come right.
It's not a book that you can just read cover to cover.
No, it's not. I agree, and
you got to spend time on it.
I think it's really made me understand myself a bit more.
Yes,
and that's what I wanted to actually really delve into, because I'm a firm believer. You can't rely on someone else's happiness if you're not happy yourself.
Agreed. And
it's taken me a long time to figure that out. And so I feel I'm on a happiness journey, being content with myself journey, and just enjoying my own company.
Yes.
I've just had a bit of a rough time in the past year, and I feel like I'm finally at the tip. I'm actually at the end of that tunnel where I'm content with what happened, and I'm actually not sad that it happened, but I'm actually sad that it happened. It went on for so long.
Yes,
Yeah.
So, and without us having to delve really into that, your professionalism through this whole time has actually been second to none.
Yeah.
For someone, and I went through a tough time in my early years of teaching as well, just with my son and court cases and all sorts. for what you went through, and we don't even need to delve into it, just your level of professionalism
Yeah.
was a major example.
I think it was that, but it was also having Future Focus backing me 100%. I was actually talking to Britt, my manager now. I spent 2 weeks constantly calling her, and there was not 1 ounce of judgment from anyone in Future Focus. Everyone just had my back, and that was a huge credit in itself. And I feel I wanted to give what you guys had given me back. So I feel that was the drive to where I am now.
You know, we appreciate that. We work hard to build a culture that really backs people personally.
Yeah.
I mean, we teachers are people first. You know, I've been a teacher. Sometimes people treat you like public property, you know, I'm really proud to hear that. I didn't know about you calling Brit for a couple of weeks, and kudos. I mean, Brit's amazing. We all know that. But again, is another cool story about Brit. And I'm so proud of the people around you, and that's the kind of steps that we will take for our people, because if we're going to do that for our people, we'll do that for kids. You know, that's why that means so much to me. And honestly, just so I want to go to the PGC this year. So the PGC, you know, like, and talking about intensity, I think I was about 4 for 4, and people getting people to cry and those things. And I don't go out and set out to do it. I just like to.
You peel back those layers.
Yes, like onion, an
onion.
onion.
Like an onion.
But with your one, you were on a different level that day. You were on a different level.
Yeah.
How did you feel in that PGC?
Strong. Yeah, and proud, and I knew I was hungry, and I wanted to. I knew in myself I was the only person holding myself back. That no one else was doing it, and I knew I just needed to just swallow that pill, and just go with it. And I had drive. I was strong. I felt strong, and I still feel strong, you know. And I felt, I just had fire in my belly. And again, I knew I wanted to be better for Future Focus.
It was crazy because you were just sitting in this chair, and you were like, and there was all of us around, and you were just like, there was an aura, and I just remember being like, I'm done. Like, you know, like, awesome. I'm so proud of you. You know, and it was, it was like that song was in my head saying, it's about damn time. Because we know there's greatness in you. We cannot wait to facilitate that greatness. And it's just that PGC, that professional growth cycle, kórero was just unbelievable.
Thank you.
It wasn't even a kórero. It was just like you walking in, mic dropping and walking out. It was a really powerful moment. But well, Amy, look, I know that the Future Focus team is very proud of you.
Thank you.
I know that your mahi in that space with your Tūhoto team is just phenomenal. People look up to you. You are a big role model for our teams across Future Focus, not just within. And I, for one, am really grateful that you picked to come back to us.
Thank you.
But I can't wait to do this again and see where we've grown to. The Kaimahi kórero tonight is going to be, I think you're really in, I could feel you buzzing. So I look forward to hearing about that.
I'm looking forward to it.
The last question we ask is always about maybe, but you've worked in a few fields, but we always ask about a favourite student or child that you've worked with before. Just give a first name and potentially why they're your favourite.
Oh, okay.
Well, not necessarily favourite, more so around impact, you know. Yeah, why they had a big impact on you.
This young girl called Katalea. She had quite a rough upbringing. Her dad was quite abusive, and which resulted in a brain injury where she lost 90% of her hearing. She had amazing family around her who loved her, and just seeing her from the infant room coming right down into the preschool room, how far she's come, and following her right up until she graduated to go to school. We all thought maybe she would never go to school. She had barely any speech. She wasn't able to go to the toilet unaided. It was a rough start to her first 5 years of life. And being at her graduation and just seeing her thrive, her talking, her being able to, simple things of getting herself dressed, putting her shoes on, to me, that was a huge success. And I was so thankful, still to this day, that I was able to be beside her for part of her journey. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful story, and I think that's probably testament to the type of person you are, and that little care and empathy for those small details. And again, I'm really glad to have that level of skill and care and love on our teams.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate that. So
Thank you.
thank you very much, Amy. It was good to chat.
Thank you.